What's up, YouTube? This is Brian at the Movies here, bringing you guys another movie review. Today I'm reviewing Terrifier. Now, with the release of Terrifier 3 coming Thursday, because I am going to the double feature of Terrifier 2 and Terrifier 3, I wanted to try to get my Terrifier and Terrifier 2 reviews out before then, hopefully. But yeah, Terrifier, wow, where did this come from now? This came from the mind of Damien Leone. He did a short film called Terrifier, which was with a different actor, and then eventually he did an anthology called All Hallows Eve. I don't know if he directed the whole thing or just the Art the Clown, but that's where Art the Clown came from. But the big thing came from the 2016 Terrifier film, which had got a lot of praise when it first came out due to it was worked on it was on a $35,000 budget. It was used with like Indiegogo. It was so crowdfunded. And it was very practical heavy. Damien Leone was the writer, director, and also the guy on with doing the practical effects and stuff. So this was a movie I didn't get to see until I was able to pick up the Blu-ray release, which I think I got it. It was a little pricey at the time, but it was definitely worth picking up because it does have a lot of good things on the Blu-ray. It has the documentary making of stuff like audio commentary, but stuff on there. So ultimately, it's about a killer clown who terrorizes these two girls after a party, and just fucking insanity happens. So my biggest positive about this film is the practical effects and the makeup. It is undeniably really impressive what Damien Leone is able to do here with the budget he has. It is really, people don't understand how, like, practical effects is pretty much is like time and a decent amount of money, to where you think, why didn't they do practical here? It probably was a time thing. But for what he was able to do here, I think I was really impressed what he did. Like, it's insane, and I can't wait to see what he does outside of Terrifier. I'm pretty sure there will be a time he will. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do with, like, not a complete studio, but something that you don't have to do. Like, I want to see what, like, maybe an Evil Dead film or Friday the 13th. Well, Evil Dead would probably fit more of it, what he could really do. So like Friday the 13th, I think, has been mentioned about maybe he could put his hands in there. And the reason I even said Evil Dead, because he's working with he had conversations with Sam Raimi's production company. So, but it's been a little while since we heard anything about that. But he's been busy. But yeah, the biggest thing is the practical effects and the gore. Really good. David Howard Thornton as Art the Clown. He is really damn good. Like, it's really hard to understand how, or it's really easy to think it's easy just to act without speaking. But no, I think it's tough because you have to put on this emotion with your face. You have to be good at these facial stuff and be able to, it to be able to work, and he does it really good. Apparently also he came from he actually learned how to mime or something like that. It was just something before he got into acting, I think. So it's pretty obvious how he's really good at this stuff, and you can see in the smile, when he smiles, he laughs, he's having fun, or he's pissed. He puts it all out there. He's just incredible to watch on screen. He's unsettling, he is depraved, but he's good at this, and that's why you see him now. With the two other Terrifier films, he was playing. He did the Grinch horror film, The Mean One, and he's doing a Screamboat about Mickey Mouse when he was Steamboat Willie. Like, they're casting him for those things now. Like, there's something about him. I'm surprised he hasn't got something a little bit, even something more bigger in terms of, he could probably be a Freddy Krueger type character or something like that. It would be interesting to see what he could do with Freddy Krueger, but until we get to that, but I mean, the idea is there. Now the voice with Freddy would be different. That would be different from what we've, seen with him, but that would bring on a challenge, right? I don't know if he's too old for that role for Freddy at this point, but I think that the atmosphere and the aesthetic, I think, is really really well set. It has a really dark, grim feel to it, but it has this kind of 80s a tone with the bluish red going around. I really love that aesthetic. It really fits what this style of movie is going for, and it's just really really good. I do appreciate the actresses all the actors here. I think they do a good job of what they're trying to sell. But this movie is not story heavy. So I wanted to just shout out to Jenna Cannell, Samantha Scafati, and Catherine Corcoran, who are the three main actresses you see in the film. I think they do a commendable job. I don't think they're bad. But getting to the big negative of this film, and unfortunately, it is the story. It's not a lot to going on. But before I get to just knowing this is really, in a way, a concept film. I think even Damien has came out and said, the thing about the first Terrifier is really just in concept. It was the way to sell an audience to art. Would this be somebody that fans would want? And once we get to Terrifier 2, you'll see how big of a difference that is in story and character development. But yeah, if you're talking about character development and talking about the story, it's just really not there. And it's frustrating to even wanting to put this as a negative, because acknowledging what Damien has said about this, really about it being a concept film, it really is. It is a kill reel. It is, just giving us ideas of what art can be, and it's a tease in a way for what could be more. And obviously this franchise is about the gore, it's about the kills, absolutely. But with slasher films, you do need a little bit more. And look, as someone who I love the gore, I love gore and kills and stuff like that, but this did need a little bit more, because I think the characters are thin. They're not as interesting. And especially when you get to the third act, now how they handle the character that Samantha Scafidi. Man, I apologize for not pronouncing that. Samantha S. I'll say Samantha S. I think her character comes back for 2 and is even going to be in a big part in 3. From what I heard, it's really good. So I like that they've been able to adapt her into more. And then obviously when you watch 2 and then eventually to 3, I think it does help. That first one, it's you probably could see more of where this is going. But again, if we were just basing off just watching this, yeah, I don't blame people for not liking this in terms of, like, there's no story. This is what a lot of people think. I think what's like Saw is, and I get Saw has kind of a kind of a soap opera storyline, but at least there's story to it. Like, there's characters. It's not, cutting in blood everything through everything through. There's stories going on. Maybe not ones you care for, or ones that may not work so well, but they are stories and characters that are working. Whereas this one just feels it's so thin. It's about a girl coming back from a Halloween party. They go get pizza, and then their car, there's a hole in their tire. The one girl has to go to the bathroom into this, worked on apartment, and she eventually gets locked in by Art, and then, the other friend gets kidnapped. And yeah, that's what this movie is. But it did well. It did really well, to enough for them to do another campaign for Terrifier 2, and we got Terrifier 2. But again, I'm not saying this is a bad movie in what it's going for. Story-wise, character development-wise, it needed more. And again, it's that back and forth where, like, yes, but then it's also a concept film. It's like, how do you judge a concept film? Because what happens if this was only one of this? Like, if this didn't work, maybe it... But again, if you're not a gore hound, or you like gore but you need more than just gore, this is definitely not for you. But if you like gore and or open-minded to this, if you just love gore, I think that you'll love this. It's Carnage Candy at a, like 10 to 11. And it gets up even more in the second one. But I think even for people like me, I think I do need a little bit more. And I did get to go see this rewatch. I think I liked it more on the first watch when I watched this on Blu-ray, and then when I went to see rewatch it in the theater, because I think it was last year they re-released it in theaters. It was a bit slower, and if it was slow and entertaining, like slow in a good way, but it just felt slow because it just felt like it just felt slower than I remember watching on the Blu-ray, and maybe because I knew it was coming, and it just the kills and stuff were just taking not too long, but it's just like there's nothing more than just the kills. And again, the characters are the biggest thing. Is like if they were decently, I think there was more to the characters, I think you can get away with it. To at least in the theater setting, but because the characters were just like not interesting and it's just like kind of generic at times, yeah, it's nothing to write home right about. But in the end, I give Terrifier a 3 out of 5 because I think because of the practical effects, Damien Leone does a really good job of that. The cinematography, the atmosphere, just everything, do a good job. I do commend the actresses for doing what they could do with what they had for little development here. Though one of them does get to go on eventually, and there's a really brutal scene that now a lot of people consider like not as they upped in the second one. So let me know what you guys thought of Terrifier. This is Brandon at the Movies here, signing off. Peace.